Welcome back to The Pulse, and you can tweet at us at the hashtag The Pulse, my personal handle at the Nana Aisha. Remember, we are live on all our social media handles. Let's have a conversation. About 4 years ago, one of Ghana's worst school disasters struck in the central region when a falling classroom wall met 6 kindergarten children, killing them instantly and injuring many others. Children in the Roman Catholic school just meters away say they have been living in fear as they say their own classrooms are in worse conditions than the one that killed the 6. This week, JoyNews is launching the Classroom Project to highlight the need for self-help in addressing school infrastructure challenges across the country. My colleague Justice Baidu, who reported on the accident when it happened in 2017, has been back in the community to see what has changed. Here's his report.
This is Breman Jamre's ground zero. It was here 4 years ago that 6 children crashed to their death in a building collapse that shook the nation. Today, some of the children who survived that accident play in the leftover rubble. JoyNews' coverage of the disaster moved non-governmental organizations to build the structure which now houses some of the children. That aside, not much has changed. This is the Jamra Roman Catholic School. It's only a few meters away from the Methodist school that collapsed. The scenes here are way too familiar.
The building, sometimes when someone just hits his hands on the wall, you see that the wall is shaking. And someone will say, hey, it's going to collapse, so it's going to... Then you try to get out of the class. Someone will come and tell you that I dreamt that the school has collapsed. So when you are sitting there, you say, hey, I don't want to sit near the corner. This one dreamt this, so.
The cracks on the wall, that's made us think that the building is a death trap. And when the wind flows, the building shakes. And we thought it is going to break. And there's darkness in the room. When it is 10 o'clock going, the dark comes to our class because there's no windows in the class, and the heat. When the teacher is teaching, we have to use book to fan ourselves. Due to that, we cannot be concentrated.
The school was put up largely by community members of Jamra. It is now run by the government and yet has seen very little infrastructure development. Much of the walls have open cracks and fallen roofs. Last year, villagers here worried it may come crashing down, pull down 2 classrooms, moving students to already congested spaces.
This is the 4th public school in this community. This one here alone has close to 600 students. While so much has been done in the other schools to bring up infrastructure to match up the numbers, so much more remains undone in many of the other schools. This leaves many children like the vulnerable ones in here today studying at the peril of their lives.
In the heart of the town, I have come to meet Nana Kwesi Enin III. He is the Krontihini of this small town.
Years ago, everybody expected the government to do everything. Now, the demand on the government has increased. The years ago expectation cannot work now. The community is willing and ready to, as it were, provide communal labor to support any NGO, any philanthropist, any institution that will want to come and rebuild the school building for us.
The warning bells from February 17, 2017, when that school accident happened here, rings loud in the minds of these children. It looks like it's only a matter of when, and not if, that they too would see their own classroom block come tumbling down. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Breman Jamra in the Central Region.
That was a report put together by Justice Beidou. Indeed, he's the one who brought this to the notice of Ghanaians when it happened 4 years ago. Just so we refresh our minds on what has happened 4 years ago, 6 kindergarten students were killed in 2017 with that building after a school building collapsed on them. And you saw that building that he showed you in that report. Let's do a bit of analysis here and some statistics. How many schools under trees do we have in Ghana? 2,417 total. And the schools under trees breakdown. Let's break it down for you. And if you look at the KG, that one is in green. That is 989. You come to primary and you have it in red, 1,167. That's almost 1,200. And you come to JHS, which is in green. It has 261 schools under trees. This worrying statistics. Let's look at schools in dilapidated conditions, and also you have a huge figure there, almost 2,986. And that is why we're going to be having a conversation this afternoon about how to deal with this situation. And luckily, joining us in the studio will be Star Ghana, our partners in this one. But inadequate furniture and dilapidated school buildings are what greets you when you enter most schools in the Wa East District, also of the Upper West region. Many of the people sit and write on the rough, dusty, bare floor, while the few lucky ones who have dual desk have more than their numbers sit on them. JoyNews' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam, who visited the Qatar and Bairi primary schools, report that the situation in the schools paints a mental picture of how widespread the issue of inadequate furniture is affecting teaching and learning in the Wa East District. Take a look.
Almost all basic schools in the Wa East District of the Upper West region are challenged with the issue of inadequate furniture in their various schools. The pupils sit on the bare floor. The few lucky ones who have dual decks have more than the required number of pupils sitting on them. Some of them sit while using their hands to support the furniture. Teaching at Qatar and Bairi primary schools in the districts are frightening and terrible as pupils sit on the bare floor and others lie in prostrate to write and learn. This is Qatar DA primary school with a total population pegged around 222. The school building is in deplorable state as it has never seen any form of renovation since its establishment. Inside this building, the floor cement is worn out and the pupils sit on the rough, dirty concrete floor to learn. Due to the deplorable nature of the school, the staff common room is now a death trap. As a result, the staff have no option than to sit under trees. All pupils we interacted with have one statement, which is unison.
My name is Rebecca. I am class 3. We don't have furniture to sit. My name is Elizabeth. I am class 3. We don't have furniture to sit.
The PTA chairman of Qatar Primary School, Adam Jatekeleu, lamented how bad they feel when they come to see their children sitting on the bare floor to learn.
You can see how the place is. And this is how the children manage to learn. We all know about, as you say, social distancing. You can see that if one child have COVID here, it will spread to all the children.
The situation is no different at Bairi Primary School, as we met the teachers sitting under trees and the pupils squatted, bent on their books to write using the bare floor as their table. Some parts of the school building have gaping holes, and as a result of that, some of the doors are detached from the walls. Simply put, it is more of a death trap than a structure for learning. The only thing these pupils could utter and ask for is give us furniture to learn. The lack of furniture at the school, according to a member of the Bairi Primary School Management Committee, Dauda Idrisu, has contributed largely to many of the pupils absenting themselves from the school, which goes on to affect the school's enrollment.
Okay, as you can see, look at the time you people arrive here. Now you realize that all our children, they have run back to the house. Due to what? Because we see when the child dressed nice from the house, coming to the school, realize that there's no any chair for the person to sit down. The person feel like going back to the house, doing other things than to come and waste his time and sit here. So, and we are thinking that like we have these furnitures and other things, it will help a lot, and then that even encourages students to come to school.
The situation at the two schools paints a mental picture of how widespread pupils in the West East District struggles, lying on the rough, dirty, bare floor in search of education.
2021 budget, we have factored in procurement of furniture. I think we have allocated something for the procurement of furniture to the schools. I know the problem cannot be solved at a go because actually we have run short of furniture in the schools. But as we continue to be producing and supplying to the schools, with time, I think the schools will all be okay with the furniture, and then all the children will have sitting and writing places in our various schools across the district.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Bayiri.
Here at JoyNews, we have started a campaign. We've tagged the Classroom Project, hoping to find lasting solutions to the plight of these young ones who studying in a conducive environment has eluded them. Joining us for this conversation on this project is Faruza Salisu. She's a project officer, and she'll be giving us more on what Star Ghana Foundation, who are partners on this project, seek to bring on board. The Classroom Project is a beneficiary of the Giving for Change project. Faruza, I'm grateful that you joined us. Could you tell us about Giving for Change and how the Classroom Project fits into it?
Much. Good evening to you and your listeners. So the Giving for Change project is funded by the Dutch Ministry for Foreign Affairs. And the Giving for Change project sets out a bold vision for how development is done. The project focuses specifically on the recognition and importance of domestic resource mobilization, and also increasing local ownership, unlocking agency, and strengthening communities' ability to claim entitlements from different actors, but specifically government. The Giving for Change project is implemented in 3 different domains. Well, for Ghana, Star Ghana Foundation is the implementing organization, and then WACSI is our strategic partner. And we are implementing the Giving for Change project in 3 different domains. So under the domain 2, which is where the Classroom project fits into, is under this domain, we are looking at how to bring collective learning from the central domain to bear, and then working with key government and philanthropic, and other development stakeholders to press for, community philanthropy and development. So, but the Classroom project, like I mentioned, falls under the domain 2 of the project. And under the domain 2, we have also given out some funds to some partners, about 5 organizations, to implement specific projects which seeks to, promote local giving in different communities or in the area of work that they do. And so the Classroom project, which is being implemented by Multimedia, was selected to be a beneficiary of the funds to implement this project, which seeks to identify some of the uncompleted and dilapidated schools in Ghana, or in specific, deprived communities, and to look at ways to mobilize resources to support the completion of some of these schools.
Let's look at what we seek to achieve with this project, the classroom project.
Oh, okay. So, like I mentioned before, the classroom project is looking at how to project communities, especially to identify schools that have been that are uncompleted, and to look at how communities and individuals can contribute to ensuring that some of these projects are completed, because you'd realize that in most deprived areas, some of the communities still do not have decent access to just common classroom blocks for the students to be able to go to school, and especially under very harsh, situations and all that. So I think it's a very laudable project, and we are hoping that the public would support multimedia in this project by contributing in whatever way they can for some of these identified structures to be completed for children to be able to have the basic access to education.
What difference do we seek to make with the classroom project in addressing our infrastructure challenges in schools?
Okay, so I think that the difference we seek to make here is to ensure that we as individuals in communities come out to support, to support our own development. So one of the key focus of the Giving for Change project is about local ownership. So we identifying our needs and also coming out to look at ways to come together to address some of these needs, and also to sort of know how to seek accountability from the government. So I think the classroom project seeks to do this.
Feruza Salisu, as project officer with Giving for Change at Star Ghana Foundation, you are also a member of this campaign, and so you can send in your contributions and help us to make a change. So Feruza, who is a project officer with Star Ghana Foundation, has just listed what you can also do to support this. We at Joy News are glad to receive your support and donation. And as you can see, the numbers are on your screens. The Momo number account, which is there, the bank account, which is also on your screens. You can just join us in achieving this together.